Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Aristotle. What if I told you that becoming the wisest, smartest, and most respected person in any room doesn't require flashy degrees or excessive accolades? In fact, it's not about impressing others with your knowledge, but about mastering the most important person, yourself. The Stoics understood that true wisdom, respect, and intelligence come from within, not from external validation. In this video, we'll explore how you can cultivate wisdom, enhance your intellect, and earn respect by adopting core Stoic principles. Instead of seeking approval from the world, the Stoics teach us to focus on our own growth, controlling our emotions, sharpening our reasoning, and living with integrity. These practices will not only elevate your mental clarity, but will also help you command respect and become a beacon of wisdom in your community. But here's the secret. To truly embody these qualities, you need to stick with us till the end. Every Stoic lesson builds on the last, creating a powerful transformation that will help you navigate the world with confidence and authority. Don't miss out. Let's unlock the Stoic path to becoming the wisest, smartest, and most respected version of yourself. Number 1, practice humility and avoid arrogance. When we talk about being the wisest, the smartest, and the most respected, there's one habit you can't afford to ignore: humility. The Stoics were all about understanding their place in the grand scheme of things, and embracing humility is one of the most powerful ways you can elevate yourself. You see, arrogance, that need to prove you're better than others, only drags you down. Humility, on the other hand, lifts you up, toward wisdom, toward respect, and ultimately toward becoming the best version of yourself. First things first, let's get real. It's easy to get caught up in the rush of life and start thinking you're above it all. You've had some success, maybe people look up to you, or maybe you just feel like you know more than most. But here's the truth: arrogance is a trap. It's the very thing that prevents you from growing, from learning, and from truly understanding the world and the people around you. The Stoics knew this better than anyone. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most respected Stoic emperors, said, "Don't be ashamed to be helped. It is your responsibility to make progress, not to appear perfect." This quote alone should be a wake-up call. Being humble means recognizing that you're not perfect and that there's always room for improvement. No matter how much you know or how far you've come, there's always something new to learn. Humility keeps you open, keeps you curious. Think about it. When you're humble, you're more likely to listen. You're more likely to seek advice, reflect on your actions, and adapt. You become less defensive and more willing to consider that someone else might have a perspective that you haven't thought about. And trust me, in a world that's constantly changing, that's a key trait to have. The smartest person in the room isn't the one who talks the loudest or knows the most. It's the one who listens the closest. Now I know what you might be thinking, but isn't being humble the same as being weak? Doesn't it make me a pushover? Absolutely not. Humility doesn't mean you lack confidence. It doesn't mean you shrink away from your own strength. Quite the opposite. It means you recognize that strength doesn't come from putting others down. It comes from knowing when to rise and when to listen. It means you trust your abilities without feeling the need to flaunt them. It's about confidence without arrogance. Here's the thing. The more you practice humility, the more you earn respect. And that respect is because you're pretending to be someone you're not. No, it's because you've demonstrated wisdom in action. You've shown that you understand the value of others, that you don't feel threatened by them, and that you are, at heart, focused on becoming the best version of yourself, not the best compared to others. So, how can you actually practice humility on a daily basis? Here are a few simple exercises to get you started. Ask for feedback regularly. Get comfortable with asking others for their opinions, whether it's in your work, your relationships, or your personal growth. Don't just ask because you're looking for compliments. Ask with the intention to grow, to improve, and to learn from the people around you. When you ask for feedback, you show that you're willing to listen, and you're acknowledging that others' perspectives matter just as much as your own. Acknowledge your limits. Take a moment each day to reflect on where you could improve. What are the areas where you might be lacking knowledge or skill? Humility means accepting that you're not perfect and that you don't have all the answers. Don't shy away from your weaknesses. Instead, embrace them and look for ways to turn them into strengths. Serve others without expecting recognition. Practice acts of kindness and service without the need for praise or acknowledgement. Whether it's helping a colleague, offering advice without expecting anything in return, or simply being there for someone who needs it, doing things for others without needing recognition is a powerful way to practice humility. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." In other words, be the person who acts with humility, regardless of whether anyone notices. Remind yourself of the bigger picture. Whenever you feel pride creeping in, remind yourself that you are just one small part of a much larger world. The universe doesn't revolve around you, and your achievements, while important, are just a tiny piece of the grand design. Marcus Aurelius also reminds us, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. This thought alone can put things into perspective and help you maintain humility when success or recognition comes your way. Remember, becoming the wisest, smartest, and most respected version of yourself doesn't come from bragging about your achievements or showing off your talents. It comes from understanding that the pursuit of wisdom is ongoing, that no one ever truly arrives, and that humility keeps you grounded while you grow. So today, start small. Reflect, listen, serve, and acknowledge your limits. That's how you begin to transform into someone who is respected not because of arrogance, but because of genuine, humble wisdom. Number 2, seek knowledge through continuous learning. If you want to be the wisest, the smartest, and the most respected person in the room, there's one habit you absolutely must embrace: the pursuit of knowledge through continuous learning. This isn't just about reading books or attending seminars. It's about making learning a part of who you are. The Stoics were relentless in their quest for knowledge, but not in a superficial way. They didn't seek knowledge for the sake of showing off how much they knew. They sought it because they knew that knowledge, true, practical knowledge, was a path to wisdom and a key to living a fulfilled life. The beauty of continuous learning is that it keeps your mind sharp, your perspectives fresh, and your actions aligned with wisdom. In a world that's constantly evolving, the idea of standing still, of thinking you've reached the peak of your knowledge, is the very thing that'll hold you back. You might think, "I've learned enough," but that mindset is exactly what keeps you stuck. The most respected people aren't the ones who know it all, but the ones who are always looking to learn more. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "While we are postponing, life speeds by." In other words, if you wait until everything is perfect, if you wait until you feel ready, you'll find that life has passed you by. The truth is, learning doesn't stop after school or after a certain age. You don't suddenly hit some invisible threshold where there's no more to learn. That's why it's crucial to cultivate a mindset that's always open to new ideas, new experiences, and new insights. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you need to cram every piece of information you come across into your brain. The Stoics were selective about their learning. They didn't just consume knowledge, they integrated it. They used knowledge to improve themselves, to act with purpose, and to grow in wisdom. Epictetus, one of the most famous Stoics, said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen more than we say." What he's getting at here is that real learning comes from observing and absorbing, not from spitting out everything you know. So, how can you start cultivating a habit of continuous learning today? It doesn't have to be overwhelming. It's about building small, consistent habits that add up over time. Set a daily learning goal. This doesn't have to be huge. It could be reading a chapter of a book, listening to a podcast on a topic that interests you, or even watching a short video that challenges your perspective. The key is consistency. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Instead of debating what you should learn, just start learning. Pick something and dive in. Learn from every experience. Learning doesn't just happen in books or lectures. Every day is an opportunity to learn, whether you're navigating a challenging conversation, solving a problem, or making a decision. Reflect on your actions. Ask yourself, what went well? What could I have done better? This kind of reflection is essential in honing your wisdom. Remember, the Stoics believed that every experience, good or bad, is an opportunity to grow. As Epictetus puts it, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Seek out mentors and wise people. The Stoics were big on the idea of learning from those who have come before you. This doesn't necessarily mean a formal mentor. It could be anyone who's walked a path you admire and can teach you through their words or actions. The key is humility. You have to be open to learning from others, no matter their age or background. You might not always agree with them, but you can always learn something valuable. You'll be surprised at how much wisdom you can absorb from the people around you. Challenge your beliefs and comfort zones. If you want to truly grow, you need to be willing to challenge yourself. Don't just stick to what's familiar or comfortable. Pick up books or watch talks on subjects that push you to think differently, that force you to confront your biases. The Stoics often put themselves in discomfort to build resilience and strength. Seneca famously said, "No man was ever wise by chance." Wisdom requires effort and an openness to being wrong. Don't be afraid of discomfort. It's often the best place for growth. Make reflection a habit. One of the Stoics' greatest tools for learning was daily reflection. Every evening, Marcus Aurelius would reflect on his day, examining what he did well, where he could improve, and what he could learn from the challenges he faced. You don't have to do it in a journal like he did, but you should take time to ask yourself questions like, what did I learn today? What could I do better tomorrow? This kind of reflection sharpens your ability to see patterns in your actions and the world around you, making you a more informed and capable person. So let's sum this up. To be the wisest, the smartest, and the most respected, you must commit to continuous learning. Start small, stay consistent, and always be open to growth. Knowledge isn't just something to accumulate, it's something to apply. By learning and growing every single day, you'll begin to embody the wisdom and respect you're striving for. And just like the Stoics, you'll find that the true joy isn't in knowing it all, but in the process of becoming. Number 3, cultivate emotional resilience and control. If you want to be the wisest, the smartest, and the most respected, then you absolutely must cultivate emotional resilience and control. Emotions, those fleeting, sometimes overwhelming bursts of feeling, can either make you or break you. They can be a source of strength, or they can cloud your judgment and steer you off course. The Stoics understood this well. They weren't trying to suppress their emotions, but rather to control them, to respond with wisdom, not react impulsively. And that's exactly what you can do too. Think about it for a second. How many times have you reacted out of frustration, anger, or fear, only to regret it later? We've all been there. But the truth is, these moments of emotional chaos can be avoided if you take control of your inner state. The Stoics believed that while you can't control what happens to you, you can control how you respond. We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them, Epictetus wisely said. This is where emotional resilience comes in. So what does it mean to cultivate emotional resilience and control? It means building the strength to handle life's inevitable challenges with a calm mind and a steady heart. It's about being able to face adversity without letting your emotions dictate your actions. It's about maintaining your composure, no matter what life throws at you. And let's be real, life will throw things at you. But what if you could face every challenge with the same calm, clear-headed approach, no matter how intense the situation? The first step toward building this kind of resilience is acknowledging that emotions are natural. They're not something you should suppress or ignore, but rather something you should learn to navigate. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoics, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." The key takeaway here: you can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you choose to respond. Your emotions might rise up, but you don't have to let them control you. One way to start practicing emotional control is by pausing before reacting. It sounds simple, but in the heat of the moment, it can be one of the hardest things to do. When you feel frustration, anger, or anxiety bubbling up, take a breath. Just pause. Step back for a moment and give yourself the space to think before you react. In that pause, you can make a choice. You can decide to respond calmly, with intention, or you can let the emotion take the wheel. A great Stoic practice for this is called the premeditation of adversity. Before you face something challenging, a difficult conversation, a tough decision, or a stressful situation, take a moment to visualize the emotions you might experience. Picture how you might feel in that moment, and then picture yourself staying calm, responding with wisdom, and handling it like a Stoic. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to expect difficulties, saying, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." By mentally preparing yourself for challenges, you condition your mind to stay composed when they actually arrive. Another important practice is self-reflection. At the end of each day, reflect on the emotions you experienced. What triggered them? Did you react impulsively? How could you have handled the situation differently? This kind of reflection allows you to learn from each experience, improving your emotional resilience over time. As Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Often, our emotional responses are more intense than the actual situation warrants. By reflecting, you'll start to see patterns in your emotional responses, giving you the power to change them. You can also work on cultivating a sense of detachment from your emotions. This doesn't mean you suppress them. It means you learn to observe them without getting swept away by them. When anger or frustration rises, instead of diving into the emotion, take a step back and observe it as if you're watching it happen to someone else. What's behind the emotion? Is it really justified? Is this feeling going to serve you in the long run? This level of detachment allows you to control your emotions instead of letting them control you. Let's break down a few practical exercises to help you build emotional resilience and control. Daily reflection. Every evening, reflect on your day. Ask yourself, what emotions did I experience today? What triggered them? How did I respond? Take note of your emotional responses and think about how you could have handled them more calmly. This daily check-in will make you more aware of your emotional patterns and help you improve over time. The pause button. Practice pausing before reacting to emotional triggers. The next time you feel yourself getting upset or frustrated, take a deep breath and count to 3. This simple pause gives you a moment to reflect on your response and ensures you don't act impulsively. Premeditation of adversity. Each morning, mentally prepare yourself for potential challenges. Visualize difficult situations and imagine yourself handling them with grace, calmness, and wisdom. This exercise primes your mind to stay composed when real challenges arise. Gratitude practice. Gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to shift your emotional state. When you find yourself feeling overwhelmed or stressed, take a moment to list 3 things you're grateful for. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right, helping you maintain emotional balance. Remember, emotional resilience is a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. By taking control of your emotions and responding with wisdom, you'll not only navigate life's challenges with ease, but you'll also earn the respect of those around you. Emotional resilience isn't about avoiding emotions. It's about mastering them, using them as tools for growth rather than obstacles. And as you do, you'll find yourself becoming the calm, wise, and respected person you aspire to be. Number 4, lead by example and act with integrity. If you want to be the wisest, the smartest, and the most respected, one of the most powerful things you can do is to lead by example and act with integrity. It sounds simple, but there's a depth to it that can transform not only how people see you, but how you see yourself. In the Stoic tradition, integrity isn't just about doing the right thing when people are watching. It's about aligning your actions with your values, regardless of the circumstances. It's about being the kind of person others can rely on, not because you're perfect, but because you consistently act in a way that's true to your word and your principles. Let's face it, we live in a world where it's easy to say one thing and do another. It's easy to promise things you can't deliver or to act in ways that are convenient in the moment but don't reflect who you want to be. But here's the catch: actions speak louder than words. If you want respect, you have to earn it, and you do that by being the kind of person who stands by their values no matter the situation. The Stoics knew this. They didn't just teach about being wise, they lived it with unwavering integrity. As Marcus Aurelius put it, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. So, how can you start leading by example and acting with integrity today? It's about making conscious choices to align your behavior with your beliefs and doing so consistently. Let's break it down. 1. Know your core values. Before you can act with integrity, you need to be clear on what your core values are. What do you stand for? What do you believe in? Is it honesty, kindness, responsibility, courage? The Stoics were very intentional about defining their values. They didn't wait for life to hand them a moral compass. They created one. Seneca said, "A good character is not made by accident. It's the result of intentional decisions and consistent actions." So take a moment to think about your own values. Write them down. What principles guide your actions? This is the foundation for everything else you'll do. Without clarity here, it's easy to waver and fall into habits that contradict who you want to be. 2. Lead with your actions, not your words. It's easy to tell people what they should do. It's harder to show them. Leading by example means living out your values every day, even when it's not convenient. It means being the person who does what they say they're going to do, regardless of who's watching. When you align your actions with your values, you naturally become a role model for those around you. The Stoics didn't believe in talking the talk without walking the walk. Epictetus famously said, "If you wish to be rich, do not add to your money, but subtract from your desire." What he's getting at is that we often talk a good game, but our actions tell the real story. If you say you value honesty but tell little white lies here and there, your actions speak louder than your words. If you claim to value responsibility but constantly shirk your duties, it doesn't matter what you say, people will notice. Ask yourself, am I walking my talk? If not, it's time to start living in alignment with your values, even when it's difficult. Every action you take is a reflection of your character. 3. Embrace responsibility, even when it's hard. When you lead by example, you take responsibility for your actions, both good and bad. You don't blame others, and you don't make excuses. This is one of the most powerful ways to earn respect. It's easy to point fingers when things go wrong, but the true mark of integrity is taking responsibility and learning from your mistakes. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Life will throw obstacles at you, and there will be moments when things don't go as planned. How you respond to those moments speaks volumes. Will you take ownership, learn from them, and keep moving forward? Or will you shy away, place blame, or make excuses? When you act with integrity, you don't shy away from responsibility. Instead, you embrace it. You recognize that setbacks are opportunities for growth, and that your response to adversity is what truly defines you. 4. Be consistent, especially when no one is watching. Integrity is tested when you're alone or when you think no one will notice. It's easy to act right when the spotlight is on you, but the true test is when you think no one is watching. Are you still holding yourself to the same standard of honesty, responsibility, and kindness when no one else is around? This is the essence of acting with integrity. It's not about seeking approval. It's about doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Seneca said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Integrity requires self-mastery. It means you do what's right even when it's inconvenient, difficult, or unpopular. The Stoics didn't need external validation because their integrity came from within. This is the kind of internal strength you should aim for. 5. Inspire others through your example. When you lead by example, you create a ripple effect. You inspire others to do the same. People naturally gravitate toward those who act with integrity. When you live authentically and consistently, others will begin to notice, and some will even follow your lead. But here's the thing. You're not doing it for the recognition or praise. You're doing it because it's the right thing to do. By staying true to your values, you set the tone for others to follow. Practical exercises to act with integrity. Reflect on your values. Take some time to clarify your core values. Write them down and make a conscious effort to align your actions with those values each day. Accountability check. At the end of each day, reflect on your actions. Did you live up to your values? Where did you fall short? This reflection will help you stay on track and keep your integrity intact. Commit to small acts of integrity. Start by committing to small actions that align with your values. This could be as simple as keeping a promise to yourself or following through on a commitment to someone else. Over time, these small actions add up to build your reputation for integrity. Remember, leading by example isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's about doing what's right even when it's hard and doing it without seeking praise. When you act with integrity, you don't just earn the respect of others, you earn your own self-respect. And that's the foundation for everything else. Number 5, focus on wisdom over wealth or status. If you want to be the wisest, the smartest, and the most respected, then there's something crucial you need to understand. Focus on wisdom over wealth or status. In a world that often places so much value on money, power, and recognition, it's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of these external markers of success. But the Stoics knew better. They understood that true fulfillment comes not from what you own or how others perceive you, but from the wisdom you carry within you. Take a moment to think about this. When was the last time you truly felt at peace with yourself? Was it after buying something you've wanted for a long time? Or was it after gaining some recognition, a promotion, or an accolade? Now, think about a time when you gained wisdom, maybe from a difficult experience or a lesson learned the hard way. How did that feel? The Stoics would argue that the peace and satisfaction you get from wisdom is far deeper, far more enduring than anything material wealth or social status could provide. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." What he's getting at is that the chase for wealth can be endless. You might get more money, more recognition, but there will always be something else to chase, something else to desire. This cycle doesn't lead to fulfillment. It leads to dissatisfaction and stress. Wisdom, on the other hand, gives you clarity. It gives you a sense of purpose and direction, regardless of your bank balance or the title on your business card. Now I know what you're probably thinking. But isn't it important to strive for success? Doesn't wealth and status bring freedom, comfort, and security? Sure, those things can have their benefits, but they shouldn't be the driving forces behind your life. When you prioritize wisdom, you'll find that you start making better decisions, not just in terms of finances, but in how you live, how you interact with others, and how you build your life. Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic giant, put it perfectly when he said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." You see, wisdom is an internal source of strength. When you focus on wisdom, you cultivate the ability to make decisions that align with your values, your goals, and your long-term vision, rather than being swayed by the fleeting nature of wealth or the pressures of social expectations. Imagine how much more powerful you'll feel when your decisions come from a place of deep understanding and self-awareness, rather than from external pressures. So how do you begin to focus on wisdom over wealth or status? It starts with shifting your mindset. Stop measuring your success by how much you have or how impressive your resume looks. Instead, measure your success by your ability to grow, to learn, and to live in alignment with your core values. The Stoics always talked about the importance of controlling what you can and letting go of what you can't. Wealth and status, those are often beyond your direct control. But wisdom, that's something you can control every single day. Here are a few practical steps to start focusing on wisdom. Prioritize learning over earning. Every day, dedicate time to learning something new. Whether it's reading, reflecting, or engaging in meaningful conversations, commit to expanding your knowledge and understanding. The Stoics were lifelong learners, constantly sharpening their minds through study, self-reflection, and meditation. This isn't about accumulating knowledge for the sake of bragging rights. It's about deepening your understanding of yourself, others, and the world around you. Set aside time each day to read, write, or think deeply about a topic that interests you. Wisdom isn't just about collecting facts. It's about how you apply them to your life. Detach from external validation. It's easy to get caught up in seeking approval from others. Whether it's chasing promotions, likes on social media, or public recognition, these external markers of success can easily derail your focus. Practice detachment from the need for validation. Understand that your self-worth isn't tied to how much you have or how others see you. As Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Practice recognizing when you're seeking external approval and shift your focus back to what truly matters: your growth, your wisdom, and your integrity. Reflect on your values. Take time to reflect on what truly matters to you. What do you want to be remembered for? What do you want to contribute to the world? When you focus on wisdom, you focus on living in alignment with your values, not just chasing external success. Write down your values, whether it's honesty, kindness, self-discipline, or courage, and make them the foundation of your decision-making. When you align your actions with your values, you create a life of purpose, not one driven by the pursuit of things. Embrace delayed gratification. Wealth and status often come from the desire for immediate rewards, but wisdom comes from understanding that true growth requires time, effort, and patience. Embrace the idea of delayed gratification. Focus on long-term goals and trust that the wisdom you're cultivating today will pay off in the future, whether it's in the form of personal growth, stronger relationships, or a more fulfilling life. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Obstacles can be opportunities to grow wiser, to build resilience, and to move closer to your true purpose. Cultivate self-awareness. Wisdom comes from knowing yourself. Take time each day to reflect on your actions, your thoughts, and your emotions. Ask yourself, what did I learn today? How did I react to challenges? How can I improve tomorrow? Journaling is a great way to track your progress and increase your self-awareness. By understanding yourself better, you can make more conscious decisions and live a life that's rooted in wisdom, not in the pursuit of wealth or status. When you focus on wisdom instead of wealth or status, you free yourself from the constant cycle of comparison and competition. You realize that true fulfillment comes from growth, not from external accumulation. And as you cultivate wisdom, you'll find that you naturally earn the respect of others because wisdom is magnetic. It draws people in and inspires them to grow alongside you. So today, shift your focus. Pursue wisdom relentlessly and watch as everything else falls into place. Thanks for watching. True wisdom and respect come from living with integrity, self-control, and a deep understanding of the world around you. Let Stoic principles guide you towards becoming the best version of yourself. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on more powerful insights. Stay wise, stay respected, and remember, it all starts with you. See you in the next one.